I once worked at a financial firm in New York City, surrounded by some of the smartest people in the world. I had a brilliant boss, someone I deeply admired. One day, I told him I was thinking about leaving my job to start a company selling books on the internet. He didn't laugh. He didn't interrupt me. He took me on a long walk through Central Park and listened carefully. And then he said something I will never forget. That sounds like a really good idea, but it would be an even better idea for someone who didn't already have a good job. What he was really telling me was this: most people don't fail because they are incapable. They fail because comfort is seductive. You can have a job, you can have a career, or you can have a calling. And if you can figure out how to have a calling, you've hit the jackpot, because a calling doesn't let you quit when things get hard. A calling doesn't let you settle. A calling keeps you moving long after motivation fades. Years ago, someone came to me with an idea, a young man, a garage, and the internet. He said, "I want to start an online bookstore. People will buy books online. I'll ship them from my garage." Then he added something that sounded insane at the time. "One day, I'm going to be the richest man in the world." At that moment, there was no such thing as $100 billion fortune. Countries didn't have that kind of money. National debts weren't that high. And yet, that was his truth. He didn't know for sure he would succeed. I didn't know either. But here was the difference. I was laughing inside, doubting, analyzing why it wouldn't work. And he was already applauding himself for starting, already committed, already moving forward. Belief doesn't require certainty. It requires courage. Here's the mistake most people make. They wait for proof. They wait for permission. They wait until the path is safe. But the path is never safe at the beginning. The path becomes safe only after someone walks it long enough. Do not chase what is fashionable. Do not chase what is trending. Chase what you can't stop thinking about. Because passion isn't loud enthusiasm. Passion is quiet persistence. I didn't think I would regret trying and failing, but I knew I would regret not trying at all. So I chose the less safe path, not because it was guaranteed, but because it was meaningful. And meaning will carry you further than security ever will. As a kid, I loved inventing things. Most of them didn't work. Some of them failed miserably, but curiosity was always there. That curiosity never leaves you. It just gets buried under fear, expectations, and routine. Dig it back up. There's a phrase I love: slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Rushing creates mistakes. Consistency creates momentum. Small progress, repeated daily, beats massive effort done once. You are given gifts in life, talent, intelligence, opportunities, but you cannot be proud of gifts. They were given to you. What you can be proud of are your choices. Choosing to work when no one is watching. Choosing to improve when quitting is easier. Choosing discipline over comfort. Your choices define you, not your advantages. Everyone gets to choose their life story. You can choose a life of ease or a life of service and adventure. And when you are 80 years old, looking back, which one will make you proud? Comfort fades. Contribution lasts. This is the greatest time to be alive. Technology, access, opportunity. Never before has one individual had so much power to create, build, and influence. Your life, the one you write from scratch, begins now. So ask yourself, will inertia guide you? Or will intention guide you? Will you follow dogma? Or will you be original? Will you shrink under criticism? or stand by your convictions? Will you play it safe, or will you dare greatly? When it gets hard, and it will you quit, or will you be relentless? Will you be cynical, or will you build? Will you use intelligence to dominate, or kindness to elevate? Every time you create something that empowers others, you are doing meaningful work. If you don't love what you do, you'll never be great at it. Greatness demands obsession. Obsession demands belief. So don't be proud of your gifts. Be grateful for them. Be proud of your choices. Because in the end, your choices become your legacy. Let me tell you something most people don't understand. Failure is not the opposite of success. Comfort is. Failure teaches. Comfort numbs. If you're comfortable, you stop asking hard questions. If you're comfortable, you stop experimenting. And if you stop experimenting, you stop growing. Progress always begins with willingness to look foolish. Every meaningful invention starts as something people laugh at. If no one is laughing at your idea, it's probably too small. People often ask me, "What's the secret?" There is no secret. There is only long-term thinking in a world addicted to short-term rewards. Most people want results quickly. Few are willing to be misunderstood patiently. But here's the truth. All overnight successes take about 10 years. When you build something new, you will be criticized. If you're not being criticized, you're probably not doing anything interesting. Criticism is the price of originality. You cannot be both normal and exceptional. You must choose. One of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to say, "I don't know." Yet, curiosity beats intelligence. Adaptability beats talent. Persistence beats everything. I've made billions of decisions. Most of them were wrong. But the few right ones mattered so much that they paid for all the mistakes. This is why you must experiment boldly. You don't need to be right often. You just need to be right big. People confuse confidence with arrogance. They are not the same. Confidence is quiet. Arrogance is loud. Confidence says, "I will figure it out." You should never be afraid to fail. You should be afraid of failing slowly. If you're going to fail, fail fast. Learn. Adjust. Move forward. Speed matters, but direction matters more. Another mistake people make is optimizing for comfort instead of meaning. Comfort feels good today. Meaning feels good forever. Meaning gets you out of bed when motivation disappears. Leadership is not about control. It's about clarity. If people know why they're doing something, they'll figure out how. The best leaders are builders. They create environments where other people can do their best work. If you empower others, you multiply impact. Don't confuse busyness with productivity, motion with progress, noise with results. Focus is power. You don't need permission to begin. You only need courage. Most people are waiting for validation, waiting for confidence, waiting for certainty. But certainty comes after action, not before. You will never have all the answers, and that's okay. The future belongs to those who are comfortable being uncomfortable. If you want a remarkable life, you must accept remarkable risk. Safe choices rarely lead to extraordinary outcomes. In the end, your life will not be measured by what you accumulated, but by what you created, what you contributed, and who you helped along the way. So choose boldly, build patiently, learn relentlessly. And when doubt shows up, because it will, remember this: regret lasts longer than fear. Act accordingly, and understand this clearly. No one is coming to save you. No one is responsible for your potential but you. The moment you accept that, you stop waiting and you start building. Most people underestimate what they can do in 10 years and overestimate what they can do in 1. Patience is not weakness. Patience is strategy. If you commit to something long enough, consistently enough, with enough care, the results will eventually surprise even you. But only if you don't quit too early. Quitting is usually disguised as being realistic. Be careful with that word. Realism has killed more dreams than failure ever has. Failure gives feedback. Realism gives excuses. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to act despite the fear. Courage is not the absence of doubt. Courage is forward motion in the presence of doubt. Every important decision will feel uncomfortable. If it doesn't, it probably doesn't matter. The bigger the opportunity, the heavier the fear. That's how you know you're close to something meaningful. You will be misunderstood. Often. By people you respect. By people you love. That's part of the price. If you need universal approval, you will never do anything bold. The world rewards those who think long-term, build patiently, and ignore short-term noise. Noise is everywhere. Opinions are cheap. Focus is rare. Protect your focus. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Spend it carefully. Do not let small setbacks convince you that the whole journey is wrong. Every path worth walking includes resistance. Resistance is not a sign to stop. It's a sign you're doing real work. There will be days when nothing works, when progress feels invisible, when effort seems wasted. Those days matter more than the easy ones. Because discipline on hard days is what separates dreamers from builders. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your systems. Build systems that make progress inevitable. And remember, the goal is not perfection. The goal is forward momentum. One step, then another, then another. Momentum compounds. Just like interest, just like habits, just like belief. Over time, small advantages stack. Small improvements multiply. Small disciplines transform into massive outcomes. Stay humble enough to learn. Stay hungry enough to grow. If you ever think you're done learning, you've already started declining. The future does not belong to the loudest voices. It belongs to the most consistent builders. Build quietly. Let results speak. And when you finally look back, you won't remember the fear. You won't remember the doubts. You'll remember that you tried. That you chose action over comfort. That you chose creation over consumption. And that choice will make all the difference. Let me leave you with this. Your life is not defined by a single moment. It's defined by what you do consistently when no one is paying attention. Success is rarely dramatic. It's quiet. It's repetitive. It's often boring. And that's why most people never reach it. They're looking for excitement. They're looking for validation. They're looking for applause. But real progress happens in silence. It happens when you show up again, even after a bad day, even after a bad week, even after a bad year. Especially then, there will be moments when you feel behind. Moments when it seems like everyone else is winning. Moments when comparison steals your joy. Don't fall for that trap. You don't know their full story, and they don't know yours. Run your own race, at your own pace, in your own lane. The only unfair comparison is comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. You don't need to do everything. You need to do the right things, consistently, for a very long time. That's how real change happens. Not through intensity, through endurance. Endurance is underrated. But endurance wins. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to be the loudest. You just need to be the one who doesn't stop. Most people stop. They stop when it gets uncomfortable. They stop when it gets lonely. They stop when progress slows. Don't. Stay in the game longer than anyone expects. Because time rewards commitment. Time exposes pretenders and elevates builders. If you keep going, eventually the gap opens. And when it does, it opens wide. One day, people will call you lucky. They won't see the years of uncertainty. They won't see the nights of doubt. They won't see the sacrifices you made quietly. Let them call it luck. You'll know the truth. The truth is that you chose long-term over short-term. You chose growth over comfort. You chose creation over consumption. And those choices compound. Remember, your future self is watching you right now. Every decision you make today is either helping them or hurting them. Be kind to your future self. Invest in them. Do the work today that they'll be grateful for tomorrow. And when fear shows up, when doubt gets loud, when quitting starts to feel reasonable, pause and ask yourself one question. If I don't do this, will I regret it? More often than not, the answer will tell you exactly what to do. Life rewards courage, not reckless courage, but thoughtful courage. The courage to start, the courage to continue, the courage to finish. So take responsibility, take initiative, take the first step, then take the next one, and the next. Because momentum is built, not found. And in the end, when the noise fades and the distractions fall away, what will matter is this. Did you build something meaningful? Did you become someone you respect? Did you live deliberately? That's the real measure of success. Choose that every single day.